Investigators say a U.S. Postal Service worker fired several shots at another person after police described that as a domestic incident. Fox 5 learning there was an ongoing dispute between the victim and the suspected shooter. Fox 5's Tisha is joining us live tonight from Northeast with those details. Tisha?
And Marina, that is correct. We have learned that an ongoing dispute is apparently to blame for this shooting. Now, what we don't know is what the root of that dispute is. Police say that remains under investigation, but it all unfolded right here behind me at this facility here in Northeast. Now, the victim and the suspected shooter are both female. The violent encounter took place early this morning between several people at the USPS facility here in the district on Brentwood Road Northeast. The USPS employee reportedly shot the victim twice near the entrance of the building. We're told security was present at the time of the shooting. The Postal Service employee who fired her gun was not acting in the capacity of a security worker. She is not a USPS security guard or police officer. Furthermore, after the shooter fired the shots, Fox 5 has learned she initially left the scene before returning. Police say there were several witnesses and people present during the incident.
We do know that the victim has gone to the hospital. There were at least two shots fired at the victim. The victim was struck at least twice, and the suspect is in custody.
Federal and local law enforcement agencies, including D.C. police, are assisting the U.S. Postal Inspection Service with the investigation. The victim, again, is not a USPS worker and remains at the hospital. The suspect is in custody. USPS says, based on their policy, and since there have been no charges filed just yet, they do not plan to release more information about the suspected shooter. We can tell you that investigators remain on site and here tonight. Back to you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to give a shout out to WTTG, Fox 5 in DC for this story. I do have an update of the situation. And again, as a postal worker like myself, and this is kind of personal to me because the Kersey Morris Post Office, which is in Brentwood Road Northeast, which is in DC, for those of you who don't know where it is, that was my first job, and that was the first time I'm entering the Postal Service. I did my test, my drug test, my background checks, everything in this post office. And this is why it's kind of personal to me. Now, with that being said, I'm going to give a shout out to two postal workers who has their own YouTube channel. You got, of course, Miss K going postal. Shouts out to her. And J.A. shouts out to him, because those are two postal workers that have their YouTube channels, and they give you information of what's going on in the Postal Service and stuff like that. Now, with that being said, now I got an update now. And I think I had to remove my videos because I had to make corrections of the video that I've done with this story. But it's made corrections now. So the story just came out on Fox 5, which is WTTG in DC yesterday. Now, according to WRC TV, which is the NBC affiliate in DC, there's been an update on the story. So according to WRC TV, now, remember what she said, that in the policy, which is true, that the Postal Service they cannot release any postal worker's name that was a suspect unless they either no longer work in the post office or they've finally been charged, or both, right? So according to WRC TV, ladies and gentlemen, they did finally release the suspect that did the shooting of the girl. And her name was 25-year-old Davita Johnson out of Southeast DC. That was the name of the shooter. And according to WRC TV, she was charged with assault of a dangerous weapon. That's according to WRC TV, which is the NBC affiliate in DC. And as far as the victim is concerned, according to WRC TV, it says that the victim has been treated with the gunshot wounds, but it's not life-threatening, which means that but she's in stable condition. I've been hearing that she has now been stable condition because of the shooting. So the injuries are not life-threatening. That's according to WRC TV. So that is the latest of the update of what's going on at in the shooting in Kirstie Morris Post Office, which is on Brentwood Road, Northeast. And again, the reason why I'm doing this story, because that post office, this is kind of personal to me, because that was my first job at the post office. And I never forget that. I started as a casual employee, and the thing of it is that that's my first job at the United States Postal Service in Brentwood, which is Kirstie and Morris. So you see, but when we come to the motive of the incident, they still haven't released it yet, but they did identify, because I believe the reason why I think they finally identified the suspect is because I guess she was fired. She was terminated in the Postal Service, as well as being arrested and finally been charged of the incident, of the shooting. That's mainly the reason why they finally released the name of the suspect. So let me know what you think about this. I mean, I'm glad that basically that the victim is okay, that the injuries are not life-threatening. And basically, they finally got the person. So again, they finally got the woman that did it. They finally released the name of the suspect, finally. And hopefully that in this case, they will figure out a way, and hopefully justice will be served from the victims' families. Now I've been hearing that the victims' families were there at the scene, but they did not want to be interviewed at this time. So let me know what you think about this, and I'll talk to you in the next video. This Lions Den signing off. Deuces.